Hi, my name's Andrea and welcome to my reading road. I have been following this YouTuber for a while now while he's trying to do what he called the 500 book challenge. And I've been itching to try it out even if I haven't even completed the 100 book challenge yet. And I recently looked at my Storygraph owned to be read list, and apparently I have 550 plus books unread that I own, so I have enough books to do it. And I did write some rules for myself for this challenge. For for those that are not familiar with what 5 book challenge is, it's practically you read 500 books that you own without buying new books. And I will be tweaking some of the things to make this challenge work for me. And the first one is, I'm going in order. All format counts, so comic books, manga, all formats count equally as one book. I also have some rules for omnibuses. For example, Shadow and Betrayal, which is a bind up of 2 books, count as 2. My collection of, for example, Sherlock Holmes book, the novels in that I'm going to count separately from the short stories, but the short stories all count as one together, despite being in the same bind up. The principle is if it's published as a separate novel, it counts as its separate novel. So for example, I have The Name of the Wind in the Swedish edition and it's separate in 2. That one will only count as one because it's part 1 and part 2. They did something similar with the Stormlight Archive series. They separate those books in 2 sometimes, and they will only be counting as 1 for this to keep it fair. So those are the rules for omnibus and collections and such. And another rule I'm going to put it, I'm going to count genuine DNFs as a read book. And by genuine DNFs I mean books I'm putting down without finish reading and with no intention to pick back up again. Which I don't do very often. Mostly I do soft DNFs, which is I put it down and intend to come back to it at a later date. Those don't count, but if I decide to put it down and never get back to it, it counts, because then it's no longer on my to be read list. So that's why those counts. Another rule I've set for myself, because I know a reading ban don't work on me, so instead of a reading ban, I'm doing a book buying restriction for this one. And I'm not forbidden from buying books, but if I buy a book, I have to start it the moment it's in my hands. So if I order a book, and I have to start it as soon as it arrives and I have my hands on it, regardless of what I'm reading at the moment. Especially even if I buy more books, I have to start them all at the same time the moment I get my hands on them. And I'm doing that partly because I'm doing a challenge which requires me to read a new release in the same month it's released in. Currently that's Haunted Ever After, that came out now in August. So that's one of the reasons for the challenge. Another is that, well, I live in a town without a bookshop, and when I find myself in a bookshop, I really want to be able to bring a book home, because it's the best feeling to actually pick up a book in a bookstore shop as instead of just ordering it online. It's a different experience. So if I find myself in a bookshop, I want to be able to buy a book, and I find having to read it immediately is completely fair, because then it doesn't go on my to be read shelf. And my main reason for trying this challenge is that I want to get to more books on my TBR and reduce that number. And it will be reduced if I don't add to it but read them directly. This will also keep me from buying sequels to books that I haven't read yet, since I can't start those, but I'm half if I can buy the next book in the series if I read the one book in the series that I haven't read yet. For example, if I buy the third book for the Stardust Crown whenever it comes out, I believe it's going to be a trilogy, then I can read the Stardust Crown instead of that new book, because it keeps the number the same. Yeah, that book, the Stardust Crown, will count though. The new books I buy won't count for the challenge, but otherwise, those are the rules. I hopefully made sense, and I'm really excited to start out this, because I have 3 books ready to go and a notebook to keep track of all those 500, and we'll see how long it goes. Hopefully it will also save me some money on buying books as well. Probably go to other things, but we'll see. I'm going to give this my best shot, and help me luck. Bye bye.